Rightio, guys. If you're listening online.
Yeah, I just got to go. It's just got to connect up.
Cool.
All right, you're good. We're recording. Hello, friends, and welcome to Lakes.
Hey, guys. Thanks, Boyd. We've got the 65 guys out here on the track now. The younger group, the 65, 7 to under 9s. That's where it all starts. The field's quite spread out now, considering they're on their first lap. The leaders is going over the finish tabletop now. Starting his second lap. Young Taj Cosgrove, one of the local kids here. Liam Millard. Both these kids recently went over to up into the Northern Territory. Represented New South Wales in the junior Aussie titles. We've got Cruz Ellis back there in about 4th spot. Levi Spiteri going past there, number 429. Quite a few of these riders not on our list. We've got 2 Husqvarna riders out there in front. Callan Morris back there in 3rd. Another Husqvarna there, number 16 in 4th. Cruz Ellis on the Yamaha in 5th.
You see the front runners coming down the hill over the jumps there.
Millard's caught up onto the back of Cosgrove a little bit there, so both hit pretty famous jump here, Boyd. It's called Centre. It's probably the feature jump of the whole track here at Lakes. One of our little riders has come off up to through the roller section there. Doesn't appear to be injured. He's standing up, probably having a bit of a difficulty lifting the bike up. These bikes get pretty heavy for these little riders, especially in the muddy conditions. Maybe 2 of them have come together. We've got a couple of the marshals running up there to pick them up, get them on the way. A couple of 4-wheel drive drivers up the top of the hill there, having a bit of a look what's going on. Round 4 here at Lakes Dirt Bike Club. All right, looks like Liam's put that move on. He's got himself up in first place, putting young Taj Cosgrove back into second. 2 Husqvarnas out in front. .38, bit of a head shake as he goes past us there. Callan Morris, and 16 on another Husky. So the Huskies dominating this junior 65 class. As 611 goes past us there. Levi Spiteri there, 429, 85 going past us here now as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying this opportunity we've got here with Boyd from Happy Cam Sports.
First time doing it, so.
It's the first time for me too, but I hope everybody's enjoying it and we can bring the racing to you guys live here through this YouTube streaming. So. Good opportunities for the club, great exposure for our club. Another one, our young 65 rider, Braxton Campbell going past there. His older brother, Jai Campbell, going past there as well, 611. Doesn't matter where you finish as long as you're having fun. And
looks like great fun. Absolutely looks like great fun.
That's the spirit, that's what we're all about here, is bringing it to the family, get the whole family coming out. Quite often you'll have dad and the 2 children racing as well, so it's what it's all about. The sound and the smell. We can't give you the smell over online, but the sound of these 2 strokes.
Yeah, it smells good. It smells good, and you got the food in the background, and the tight chips cooking away. Glorious day here at Lakes.
Certainly is. We've got quite a decent queue there at the canteen. Our track crew on track. They'll be putting some water down soon. Ladies in the canteen, serving up all the nice hot food and drinks here. Had a bit of a hiccup yesterday afternoon. One of our fridges gave up the ghost, so we had to quickly scramble to grab another fridge off one of the other dads so we could give all the people cold drinks today.
So yeah, as we were just saying, it's our first first attempt at live streaming the race. Sometimes the internet's not the best, but we'll record it to disc and we'll be able to upstream the races to the YouTube without any buffering. So trial and error as we go, isn't it?
It certainly is, but at the end of the day, boys, it sounds like you're bringing the best to our listeners online and our viewers. So all our riders now on their last lap in this junior 65 class. After these little guys, we'll be having the older 65 class. So these next bunch of kids will be all over 9 years of age and under 12. So also on the 65. So plenty of action still here to see on track, and I hope you guys can continue listening and enjoy it. If you've got any other friends and family out there, please share the channel to them and get them to jump online and check out what it's all about here at Lakes. We've been, this committee of ours has been working pretty solidly over the past 2 years. We've done multiple changes to the track and the facilities and the infrastructure here. Probably one of the most notable things you'll notice there, Boyd, is we've got the big lake sign there on the other side of the dam. Bringing Hollywood to Lakes.
Bringing Hollywood to Lakes, yeah, no, it looks fantastic. Here's the sign there, or is it? There it is, Lakes. I love it.
Yeah, it looks good. One of the dads, he knocked all that up himself. And the good thing about this committee is we're all volunteers, and we all sort of pull our different strengths and weaknesses, and all chip in to do what we can to make a great facility for all our members.
Yep. Someone gone over the winning. It was at the winner.
Liam Millard had plenty of practice. His family spent a lot of dollars to get the whole team, the whole family up to the Northern Territory at the Junior Aussie titles. They do say that motocross is one of the toughest sports in the world. Not only do you have to be fit, you've got to be smart. You've also got to get your brain to divide 4 ways, because each of your limbs are doing
different things
all at the one time. And that's not even talking about your technique and your speed.
It's definitely a nice skill to have. Craig Anderson's, I see he's a bit of a member here, is he? Craig Anderson, that's one of the main blokes I know in the motocross. Sort of followed him when I was younger.
Well, look, we're all pretty familiar with the Anderson family. As a matter of fact, the Anderson family are lifetime members of the Lake Macquarie Dirt Bike Club, so that's pretty good. The Anderson family were quite, at the forefront of racing in the country, and one of the ones that were quite responsible for building this this jump in the middle of the track, the showpiece of Lakes, which is called Senna.
Okay.
The Reed family also, obviously another...
Is that Chad Reed?
Yeah, their family are also lifetime members of the club. Unfortunately, Mark, the godfather of motocross, a couple of months back passed away, so it was pretty sad for our whole community. But a lot of us had great numbers turned up to a memorial or a celebration of his life a couple of months back, so that was great that the whole community rallied together and attended and were there to support the family, which was great. So quite a lot of famous names have come from, well, definitely the Lake Macquarie Club, but more so the Hunter region. Quite a few of them will be turning up to our Memorial Weekend, which will be in about 7 weeks' time, in the middle of October.
2-day event?
2-day event, yeah. So what the plan is we're going to do 2 motos on the first day, and then have one moto on the Sunday with a presentation, and so all the trophy winners will be awarded their trophies, their prizes. $20,000 worth of prizes and prize money up for grabs on that day. We've got KTM Newcastle who jumped on board to be the naming rights sponsors for our event, which is great. They're up there at Warners Bay, so if you're local in the Newcastle area and you're after a gas or a KTM, drop in and see the team up there. Plenty of accessories for sale there as well. All right, so we've got the older group up there now. Again, we hear that famous surname, Boyd. We've got the younger brother, Danny Anderson, one of his children's out here. He's actually also I think an Australian title holder in flat track.
Yep.
We've done a few write-ups of him in the local Hunter newspapers. So, but Danny's bringing him up through the ranks, teaching him the craft the right way, exposing him to multiple disciplines. He's second on track now. Flynn Burgess just making his way up into second.
So what group, what are we up to?
We're up to now, this is the 65-9 to under 12 class. After this will be the Junior Lights 250 class. So these are all, these kids often will do the 2 classes in the Junior Lights. I'll do the 125s and the 250 class. As our leaders are up the top of the hill now, going past some of the bush riders that are coming for a bit of a look-see. So we've got a bit of a different mix of motorbikes here, Boyd. Husqvarnas were quite dominant in the race before, but out in front, 104, Braxton Anderson. And in second place, we've got the Cobra of Flynn Burgess, also recently had a pretty successful stint up in the Northern Territory at the Junior Aussie titles. So Braxton rides the Yamaha in the 65 and he's got a 50. He's riding the Cobra, sorry, when he rides the 50. So Flynn Burgess up in a second on the Cobra. We sort of spoke earlier a little bit about our Memorial Day coming up in the middle of October. The whole Cobra team's going to be here, so if there's anybody listening and you're interested in considering a Cobra as an option as a purchase in the future, there'll be plenty of bikes here on display. Cobra Australia coming to support their sponsored riders, but also bring some bikes to put on show and tell.
Yeah, nice. Sounds like a massive weekend.
Oh, look, there's going to be food trucks. We've got some entertainment in the evening.
People can camp out.
That's right, yep. Absolutely. There was a pretty early night here last night. Most everybody were in bed by about 10:30 or at the worst in bed before midnight, so it was pretty good.
There's a little battle going on in between first and second.
Oh, these two boys have been banging bars for the most part of the last couple of years, these two. Unfortunately, young Flynn in the fluoro yellow in second had a bit of an off in his first race on the 50. I'm not sure if he's a bit banged up or not, but at the moment, Braxton Anderson out in front. So they come down into the bowl. It used to be called the bowl. This track's changed quite a bit over the years since I used to race it as an over 35 rider. Okay, Braxton flying, famous number. Craig races 100, Danny races the 104, and Braxton's also sporting the 104. The first 3 riders have put a bit of gap on the field. So Flynn hits the double there. Braxton chooses the safer line. All right, looks like there is this battle you were referring to a moment ago, Boyd.
Yep.
Looks like Braxton's learned from his dad, showing him the wide way round, and all totally legal. If you're going to get that overtaking pass done, you got to earn it.
Yeah, it's very close. What lap are we on? 3, 2?
No, this is their third lap. Last lap will be displayed for these boys on their next time round. So as we're chatting a little bit about Memorial over the 2 days, what a lot of these riders all sort of ask for is some longer motos. So we will be having longer motos throughout the day. We're introducing a vintage class, so we're going to get...
Oh, here we go. He's got him.
He's
got him.
Up the inside. Has Braxton got it back in him to duck back up the inside? This will probably give us a good indication of the horsepower of the Cobra versus the Yamaha. Looks like the Cobra's pulling away a little bit. Don't forget, Braxton's still got 1 lap to go if he's got it in him to get back round Flynn Burgess.
Coming down the, what do we call this section?
That's coming down into the old bowl section. So quite a lot of the jumps are changed, and as in lots of things in life, it's not to everybody's tasting, but definitely everybody seems to like the fun and the flow of the track now. Okay, so we notice our 2 leaders coming into the bottom section of the track here as they go over the roller section.
Calling that cemetery corner.
All right, looks like young Finn, he'll clear that double. Brax takes the safer line and doesn't quite clear it. All right, one of the gas riders going past me there. It looks like Ollie Blatchen. Number 38 going past our commentary spot there is Callan Morris. Lincoln Wrightson also going past us there as well. Hudson Gould, another 275 rider, just going past us on the commentary spot.
Just following the front runners here. It's the green is just pulling away a little bit.
Yeah, that's Flynn Burgess on the fluoro yellow. Yeah, these 2 kids will be racing the 2 classes. They'll be racing the 50 autos as well as the 65s. 28 just going past our commentary position there. That's Riker Tipper. Her dad's in the vets class here today. So good to see the girls starting out young. We've got plenty of senior women, but there's a good sprinkling of junior female riders throughout the other classes as well today. So our leaders are at the top of the hill now. Flynn Burgess coming into the bowl for the last time. Just about to greet the checkered flag. Good job, Flynn Burgess. Takes the win. Braxton Anderson taking second. A bit of a gap back there to our 3rd place rider. All right, so next up we'll have we're back to 4 strokes. We've got the Junior Lights 250 class up on the start line now. You can hear those 4 strokes revving in the background.
That was a good race, good little battle there, 1st and 2nd. They had a nice tussle.
I think this next one will be equally exciting for all our listeners and viewers. They hear the revs climb of these 4 strokes.
Don't forget to subscribe, get a notification, keep up to date. You know, when I'm coming along doing the next race, it's pretty exciting. Pretty fun actually, and once I'm starting to get the hang of the movement of this joystick on this controller, so it makes it a lot easier.
Oh, that's good. What other sports do you sort of cover?
Oh, I started with lawn bowls, mate. It's a bit more different to lawn bowls.
Yep.
But yeah, I live streamed the lawn bowls, and I've just sort of broken out to do other sports. So I've done a little practice surfing. I was going to do the Ray Richards Memorial. I was called off due to the weather, poor waves. Yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
So
where was that at?
Merriweather Beach.
Merriweather, yeah.
Yeah, and then I ended up asked about doing a rugby league game as a grand final, and so I did a rugby league game yesterday. So my first attempt at doing rugby league as well.
That's pretty cool.
So it makes it fun when you don't know the players.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, no, that was good. Time I did the 2nd game, I sort of worked out you can only use 1 camera for rugby leagues.
Yeah, right.
Follow the action. So I did my first rugby league, and I'm here today. Starting to get do this, work out what's best, and best way to go, and
yep.
Yeah.
So we got the green flag here. How many cameras were we on track here today, boy?
We got 4 cameras.
4 cameras. Okay.
But I find this is my camera 1 that we're on now. This is my brand new camera I went and brought especially for this weekend.
Super.
Sort of can follow the whole track around, but I'm using this joystick I got as well, which is very touchy.
Okay.
So a little bit too far and it goes.
Goes a bit quick. We've got our track crew up here. We really can't do it without our track crew. They're the ones that keep the dust down, which keeps the neighbours pleased. You can hear the 250 light on the start line as they're waiting for a clear track to get this race underway. This is the 5th race of the day. Okay, the revs build. There's a gate drop. All right, pretty clean start away there. Straight to the front, Nate Ebick. Oscar Earl in second. Looks like Sonny Antonio in third. 4th place looks like Zach Henry. 5th place, Jack Roberts. Ben Mackey's there. All right, so all these kids here are less than 16 years of age or just turned 16.
Yeah, wow. So, smacking it. Little air coming over here.
These bikes are quite heavy when you're only, between 13 and 15 years of age, these 4-strokes. So pretty clean start away by all our riders. As they go over the few, over centre, hit the second tabletop, up into the horseshoe. For the first time's Nate Ebick. Nate also participated in the Junior Aussie titles. I think he finished in the top 5 or thereabouts. Considering he's only 13 himself, or 14, that's a pretty solid effort. Even to be competing against some of those older riders that have been racing these 4-stroke bikes for a couple of years longer. So as Nate heads over the finish tabletop for the first time. Sonny Antonio in second, Oscar Earl in third. We'll pick up our 4th place riders, Zach Henry, Jack Roberts, Ben Mackey. Maverick Welsh Ross there back in 7th. So quite evenly spaced out here as our 250 lights riders. There's Syra Perry, one of our junior female riders, also there as well. So as our leaders sort of check out a little bit, they're bunching up between that 3rd, 4th and 5th positions. It's great to hear the sound of the 4-stroke Boyder. I hope Craig Anderson later on brings out his 500. Now that'll be definitely one that will perhaps do a little less talking, a little more listening, because this thing sounds unreal. 500cc 2-stroke.
Be good to get Craig Anderson to join us one day.
Oh yeah, he's not shy of the camera. Okay, so at the top of the hill, coming down the fishbowl, we've got Nate Ebick flying 399. He's also out of the KTM Newcastle team. He's got quite a few sponsors, KTM Newcastle, Rat Racing, Sonny Antonio there in second. Oscar Earl still holding on to third on his Yamaha. Zach Henry, Jack Roberts, 170. Ben Mackey, 580. All right, bit of a move going up there into 7th spot, 142. That's Liam Osterman. Nice little pass he put on there. All right, 115 going past us there, Cody Soot. I don't know if you noticed that there or not, Boyd, but some of our track crew putting a bit of water on the track there. Our 1st place rider, Nate Ebick.
Yep.
Really riding with his head. He went right to the other side of the rollers just to get on the dry line a little bit, just to get a bit of traction. So no doubt after that water, it's a little bit greasy there. So he's riding with his mind, riding with his brain, getting into the dry line to maximise the drive of our rear tyre. Antonio back in second, really hasn't lost too much ground on that 1st place rider. Earl there in second, as our 4th and 5th riders are getting bunched up here. Zach Henry, Jack Roberts, KTM and Yamaha. All right, Nate Ebick on his last lap now. Antonio on his last lap now too. As the KTM front wheel in the air goes past our commentary position. Bit of a gap back to Oscar Earl. He's been riding pretty good this year. Definitely up where he wants to be. Okay, these two back here for 5th and 6th are pretty close, these two. Ben Mackey back in 7th. Osterman up in 8th, but that's a pretty good move on. 9.72 going past me now is Maverick well throttled. So there's action all throughout this race. 1:15, 64 going past us now. All right, we've got Nate in first, up to the horseshoe corner for the last time. Antonio might have closed the gap up a little bit there on second. I think it's just a case of Ebick riding with his head and riding to the conditions. When you're riding in a point series like this, Boyd, it's important to, you know, be consistent because you're not going to win a series in one race.
Yep.
All right, put your hands together. Nate Ebick leads from start to finish. Sonny Antonio crossing the line for second. Oscar Earl cruising over for third. And a bit of our battle back here to the 4th and 5th place riders. Zach Henry and Jack Roberts. And Ben Racky rounding out your 6th place. That was a pretty exciting race there.
That was a great race, mate. Yeah, no, it was good.
These teenagers, as you know, there's lots going on in these teenage years, and to be able to throw these 100-kilo bikes around like they do is no mean feat.
No, that was a great race there.
So we hope everybody online enjoyed that. Look at our track crew out there. These are the backbone. These are the guys behind what makes Lake great. These are all our committee and our volunteers.
So just to let people know, if they are getting a lot of buffering, I am recording it, so I'll upload from this stream. They'll be uploaded onto the YouTube, so you won't have that buffering effect. You can see the water and guys throwing that water on around the track.
We've got to do that for numerous reasons. One, there's a saying in motocross, if you lose the track, once you lose the track, it's gone. So we're trying to keep the water up to the track at the moment, just so for two reasons, that the track keeps its form and holds its form throughout the day. Also to keep the dust down as well, which also pleases the neighbours. So we've got to be mindful of our neighbours there. We've got the MX2 riders now. So these guys are all 16 years and above. This should be a pretty competitive race here. These are A, B and C grade riders, all in the same race. All seniors, all over the age of 16. A couple of girls in this group as well, so that's quite good that the girls are maximising their ride time by riding in two classes, not just the senior women, but racing with the boys as well. So, all right, MX2, they're racing.
Here they go.
Right, so looks like after an early lead, we've got Junior Parker, Aidan Waddell. Aidan Waddell stepped off a Yamaha, looks like this year, and on a Husqvarna we see.
Oh, we've got a bit of a, oh no, they're around, someone's stopped. Oh yeah, launch it over.
Yeah, that jump, that triple's quite big there.
That's huge, yeah.
think that might be Chad Smith by the looks of it up there, Boyd. He's got some sort of mechanical issue there going on. Aidan Waddell out in front on that Husqvarna. The next bunch of guys are all pretty close, so that's a pretty good battle going on there, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to us online. Junior Parker, Danny Anderson, Noah Morgan, they're all here. Bit of dust kicking up in a few spots. A couple of our senior women here as well. Sienna Gudas riding past, Ella Mackey going past here as well. Blue fella up there in it. Waddell pretty much got this race all to his own. Junior Parker is there in third. You'll notice that some of these riders, they'll whip it one way and then whip it the other opposite way as they go over that second tabletop. It's quite interesting, Boyd, watching these kids now that are racing with men, and I've been seeing some of these kids racing since they were about 5 or 6 years of age, so it's amazing how quickly they've grown up and now how fast they are. As Aidan Waddell gets a little bit of head shake as he comes past the commentary position here. All right, that's 59. Aaron Parker, so there's 2 Parkers out here in this race. 57, Ian Hibbert. He's on the Yamaha this week, was on Honda last week. Chad Smith, no seat. That's going to be an interesting ride, that one. All right, Waddell going up into the uphill roller section. Aaron Parker in second. Danny Anderson in third. Noah Morgan fourth. Cody Deese. He's quite a handy rider. I've seen him riding up at Maitland quite a bit. There's Eaton this week on the Yamaha. Goes round Deese.
Oh, big whip.
Finds himself up in 4th place.
Yeah. How good's that? It's a good battle on here. Coming down the bottom in that muddy section.
Yeah, those ruts in that muddy section you're referring to, is that left-hander going up the hill. Gets pretty deep there. By the end of the day, these guys will be scraping their pegs. As Waddell crossing the finished tabletop on his 3rd lap now. He's actually extended his lead quite a bit.
Just getting these guys coming down now.
All right, here we go. Aaron Parker, Danny Anderson in 3rd. Noah Morgan recently stepped up onto a 450. 64, Eaton Hibbert, Cody Deese there as well. Waddell's definitely on a mission out there in front. Riley Jamison cruising past in the 222. On 4-1, Jack Roberts. Okay, there's Mia Chung, the first of the senior women in this MX2 class. 5'11", Jack Swan. Mia Salvia's out there too, one of the other senior women. As our all-important marshals are getting their lunch delivered to them. Faye McKenzie out there, 72 on the Yamaha.
They get some good speed.
Oh, definitely.
Flying.
Especially Waddell up there in front. As he goes over the uphill step up. Second last time.
There he is. We've got the leader coming down now towards the finish line.
Coming into the bowl now. It's the first tabletop. Waddell on the back wheel goes past our commentary position in first place. Bit of a gap back. Aaron Parker, the younger of the Parker boys, in second on the two-stroke KTM. Morgan turned himself up in a third, not sure where Anderson is. Here's Anderson. Cody Deason's got himself up in a fifth place. All right, looks like Ayrton's rolling out of it. All right, looks like Waddell. All our riders on their last lap now.
So where's the winner? Where's the leader? I've lost him.
Waddell's coming up to the horseshoe now. Going down the horseshoe now. He might even put a few riders down a lap here, which some of these older guys, I don't think they'll be too disappointed in. Okay, Waddell right on the back of our riders. Waddell on the top of the hill, goes around one of the riders. I think that's our rider without seat, Chad Smith, as he goes over the tabletop. Now, definitely on their last lap. So Waddell, as he comes past the stand in the commentary position, puts Ian Cox down a lap. Aaron Parker. The two-strokes are quite popular in this MX2 class. Cody Dease there, he's probably putting in some practice. He wants to be here and in the money come Memorial in 7 weeks' time. Kev Bradley, his daughter rides in the senior women class as well. 941 on the two-stroke, the other Jack Roberts. Okay, Waddell about to send it over centre for the last time. He whips it to the left, he whips it to the right as he goes up the horseshoe for the last time. Mia Sun going past the cannon in the commentary position there.
So we're with your race leader at the moment, going across the top of the Powerline Hill. Here he comes down, flying down.
Young Aidan Waddell, I think he drives himself to the track now. Put your hands together, Aidan
Waddell.
There
he is.
Great to hear the crowd appreciating that as well. Pretty well run that race from start to finish.
Come here, next place getters. We'll stay with the finish line there, get them coming down.
Quite warm conditions here, Boyd, considering...
Oh, glorious day, isn't it, for winter?
That's right.
Yeah, tuning in and enjoying the coverage. If you are racing in it, let us know that you raced and you watched it back.
Good.
Share it.
Good bunch of people up there on the enjoying the sun and the good racing here on the hill, on the grassy hill there. One of the other things that the club's recently done, we put a lot of bench seating up here for all the spectators, so they don't have to sit on the grass. So it's nice to see lots of people, lots of mums and dads and grandparents out here watching.
Yeah, it's a good crowd.
All right, so back on the start line now. We've got the 85s. This is the first opportunity I've had to be with Boyd here and call the race for the 85s. So these kids are again 9 to under 12. So some of these kids They'll be riding the two size bikes, the 65s and the 85 small wheel. This is once again a two-stroke class, 85. All right, a clean getaway. Looks like one of the riders might have got hooked up on the gates. They do call the gates self-penalising gates for a reason, so if you jump the gate, you'll get hooked up on the gate and you'll disadvantage yourself. There's Riley Burgess also from a recent trip to the Northern Territory in first place, getting a bit of pressure in second now. Second place rider tries to take the move up the inside. They're side by side as they go over centre. It's pretty impressive. I'll try and explain to the listeners, Boyd, why they, it looks like they're showing off, but actually what they're trying to do when they whip the bike left, whip the bike right, is they're trying to get the wheels back onto the ground as soon as you can. So
okay,
that's why they flick the bike out, so they can get the wheels, the back tyres onto the down ramp as quick as you can, so you can get straight on the throttle and get instant drive.
Yeah, it'd be good, because a lot of my followers at the moment, we're all bowlers.
Yeah, okay, so it'd be quite different. So
yeah, so a lot of new followers here. Not sure about the sport, so
oh, that's great.
The more information.
So we got that move done. Let's pick up that rider. I think that might be Seth Thomas. I haven't changed my pages over. Let's catch up here. So both these two riders out in front have been all the way up to the Northern Territory to the Aussie titles. We've got a Gas and a Husqvarna.
Yeah, got a bit of a break on him, the front two at the moment. Good little battle, first and second.
I might have a bit of apology there, Boyd. I might have...
It's easy to do, mate.
Looks like they've changed the order around on our list. This is actually 85, the big wheel class, the 12 to under 16s. So they must have switched that around. Last minute adjustment to the program. As we've got Seth Thomas out in front. Also comes out of the KTM Newcastle team. If you want to get a good deal on a KTM or a Gas, you go hit the guys up at KTM Newcastle. As Seth goes over the top, tabletop, Riley Burgess from the R&D Husky team. In second place as our first two riders have definitely gapped the rest of the field. Again, our track crew out there getting some water on the track. The field quite spread out. This is probably one of the larger. There's 29 riders in this group, boys. So I think probably so far this is the biggest field we've seen all morning.
Yeah, no, quite a few in it.
Again, we're seeing some of the girls that are coming up through the ranks. Our first two place riders are definitely not budging an inch. They're still pretty close together. The New South Wales riders featured quite well up in the Northern Territory. Quite a few New South Wales riders coming back to Sydney, or coming back to New South Wales for that matter, with Australian titles. So the stock's pretty good here in New South Wales, particularly in this Hunter region. And most of all, we're seeing slowly as time goes on, the numbers increasing of women getting involved in motocross. Okay, it's Thomas Burgess. They're on the throttle as they come past our commentary position now. Neither of the riders giving an inch as they're both extremely close together. Neither one of them could afford to make a mistake right now. Back in third place, a lonely third, that is Corey Eisel. Shout out to the Eisel family. The older brother Tyler's at home nursing a bit of an injury. He'll be eager to get back out here and bang bars with his fellow competitors. All right, another one of the riders going past there, Jaden Mafati. One of our riders coming on stuck over the rollers. Burgess still on the rear tyre of Thomas. Is Thomas coming up to a lap rider now? He'll overtake him as he hits it over centre. I've got to say one thing, Boyd, though, the first time as a parent and your child's on an 85 and they clear that centre jump for the first time, it's quite nerve-wracking.
Pretty nerve-wracking?
Yes, mate. It's either gonna be great or it's gonna end in tears.
Well, we're just following these the front runners around at the moment, going up to Power Hill.
All right, as they're going across the top under the power line, Burgess putting the power down quite early. As they're coming to take the checkered flag, that's probably been one of the most entertaining ones. Well done, Seth Thomas, Riley Burgess. That's definitely an entertaining race there.
Great race there. Let's get the...
So I dare say probably we'll end up swapping these around. There'll be the younger ones now. The 85 small wheels no doubt will be on the start line next. So you can see our committee if you're watching online, ladies and gentlemen. They got the bright yellow Lakes logos on the back of their shirts. So there's not only we've got Boyd here on the Happy Cam Sports YouTube channel, we've got a couple of photographers on track today as well. Not 100% sure, but generally speaking.
Are they wearing the purple?
Yeah, that's those guys. Yeah, the purple's the media vest. It looks like someone's come off up top there, and the horseshoe. So the reason why the marshal up there is waving the yellow flag is to alert the upcoming riders that there's immediate danger in front. And when you see that yellow flag, the riders are not allowed to overtake and they need to have a reduction in speed.
That was a good race. First and second was a very competitive little battle there with that race there.
Yeah, I hope everybody online enjoyed that because it sure was action-packed standing here behind the fence here up at Lakes in the sun. If we go quiet for a little bit, you can hear all the people in the crowd all chatting amongst themselves. If only we could let you know the smell of the barbecue and the hot chips.
All the people on the hill, as you said, enjoying the sun, the food.
Okay. Look, these weren't our nippers, so there could be some future champions amongst this group here, Boyd. All the nippers. So the nippers is actually a non-competitive class.
Yep.
So you'll see if the cameras are picking up now, all the parents come out and watch their little kids go around because these kids haven't been riding for all that long and a little bit inexperienced as this little one goes past us now. This is where, the mums and dads and they work with their coaches to hone in their skills. So it becomes a habit for the future, and there could be some
future stars in there.
There could well be. Yep, could be the next Chad Reed or Craig Anderson amongst this lot. Now, quite a different array of bikes we got here. So you can hear what you can hear is the two-strokes, but what you can't hear is there's electric bikes in this group.
Okay, electric bikes.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So yeah, often they can creep up on you, as you can imagine. You can't hear anything coming and then they just go whooshing straight past.
Yeah, it looks like they'll be loving this. How good's this? Looks like great fun. The little ones getting around. Be a few nervous parents, I reckon. Comes the front runner. Going down Cemetery Corner. Over the jump. Boom. Bottom top. And get them all coming down the hill. So you enjoyed the coverage. Said it's my first time doing the motocross. Bit different to the lawn bowls, friends. So there is a bit of buffering. We'll have this uploaded later on the YouTube for the kids to watch themselves back, hopefully.
So we've got the nippers on track now, Boyd. There'll be plenty of little girls amongst this group. Gives our track crew an opportunity to get a bit of water on the track. It's pretty tough for some of these little ones. Obviously the tyre size is a lot smaller than some of the big bikes, and these big bikes, particularly the 4-strokes, they tend to create a lot more ruts on a track than what a 2-stroke does because they have a lot of engine braking, so a lot of more ruts and bumps seem to form up when the 4-strokes on the track. So these little bikes tend to struggle a little bit, so that's why for all you guys listening and watching, why we've got all the mums and dads in their high-vis vests out there watching their kids. The parents can actually instruct their children because this is a non-competitive class. In all the other classes, the parents can't come onto the track or enter the track, obviously for safety reasons, and they're unable to coach their kids as well. So this is the breeding ground. This is where it all starts, and one of the catchphrases of Lakes is the breeding ground of champions. And we've already spoken numerous times since we've been on air about the Anderson family and the Reed family. They're all used to call Lakes their home club.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we've got Troy here in the front of the commentary. He's and both him and his wife are on the committee. We had our track preparation guy out here during the week had a bit of rain during the week, so he had to sort of pick his days correctly when he could get out here and onto the track and do the great track prep that he's done for us today. All the riders told us after their sighting laps that the track was pretty good, so it's a credit to him, because it's pretty hard to prep a track when it's on the side of a hill like this.
Yes, it is a steep hill too.
And unfortunately, when Mother Nature sometimes is not so kind to us, that after he does his great track prep, that often it can wash away. So, but luckily for us today, he's presented us with a smick track. Formed up all the jumps nicely, all the berms are forming up nice, so stay tuned for an action-packed afternoon here at Lakes.
So what time we go to?
This will probably kick off, I'll conclude around about 3:30, 4 o'clock, generally speaking. That's generally how it goes. You don't want to...
So I got to... Yeah. So happy, I work Sunday Arvo, so I go to work start at 4. So
yeah,
I
right.
might have to wrap up at 3:30.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm sure we've been out to entertain anybody online and give them a bit of exposure to what motocross is all about, particularly everybody in the Hunter Club, or in the Hunter region, sorry. It's good to see so many nippers out here though, Boyd, you know.
That's fantastic.
There's probably 20 plus little kids here, and all these kids are under the age of 7. Mix of boys and girls, as we spoke about as well. There's a mix of, KTMs and electric bikes as well. Most of these sort of bikes are all these automatic bikes, KTMs or Husqvarnas, or in recent times gases. These little kids have been out here for 10 minutes, so they get a pretty
fun ride.
Yeah, they get a good opportunity to get out there, and they don't race the whole track. As you could appreciate, it'd be pretty tough for those little
you got
ones
that hill.
getting up those big hills. So
yeah, pretty big. I'd be scared myself.
Oh yeah, it's look, it definitely looks more daunting than what it actually is. Once you've got your helmet on and you're heading up that hill, it doesn't feel that bad. You don't really notice how steep it is. So at the top of the hill there, in between races, you'll see the green flag. The green flag just indicates that the track's clear, and that's how we communicate to each other, by the flags. Yeah, just getting some water on down the track here along the front of the canteen in the commentary position. All the dads are making their way off the track. Yeah, a lot of the changes we've done, there's been plenty of working bees here all last year and all this year. We sort of got together at the start of last year, us as a committee, and put a bit of a plan together and a bit of a wish list of where we'd like to see ourselves in a couple of years' time. And we've got, a bit of money in the bank now. Oh, as we can hear the revs building in the background. We've got the small wheel 85 class. Okay, pretty clean start away there. We've got Liam Millard straight to the front. Looks like maybe young Taj Cosgrove again takes advantage of... No, it's not Taj. Oh, we'll pick some of these numbers up as they get a bit closer, Boyd.
Glad you can pick him. I can't see nothing. I'm looking at the TV screen. Oh, look, yeah, there. There's some nice hairs coming down.
Yeah, that jump there, that big, ends up being a triple. That's massive. All right, so coming up after this, we'll have our, that's the 85 class, and then we'll action packed for you guys watching and listening. We've got our MX1 class coming up, so don't go too far, because the best riders we've got here today are about to be on track in a couple of races' time.
Sweet.
Oh, I don't know if the camera picked that up.
No.
One of the kids come off. Okay, the kid's up. Okay, a couple of the riders, the parents, the marshals have seen him. Medic's on his way. Went off track in that single. Ended up in the drainage there.
We've got a flag flying. We need medical up the top. So we've got a flag out at the moment, just going up to help the young fella up there. So the riders will back off a bit here. He's up. It's good.
Looks like that rider's up, which is what we like to see, Boyd. It's we never like to see any of the kids have a crash, let alone take away injuries. But unfortunately, it does come with the sport.
I'm sure they'll all end up with a few broken bones.
Oh, they do. So I think that's our leader there.
Down the bottom.
There's Taj Cosgrove back there in third. Okay, our first two riders. Unfortunately, our first place rider's not on my list, so I'm unfamiliar with him. 26 is Liam Millard. Third place, Taj Cosgrove. The whole field's quite spread out now, we see. A good mix of gear. That bright coloured rider going past there.
Just following the front two at the moment. They've got a nice little tussle happening. At the tabletop.
Looks like Millard got the pass done and he's got himself up in the first place on that Husqvarna. Again, we see some bush riders having a bit of a look-see at the top of the hill there. All right, as our first place riders coming down into the fishbowl, just about to greet the last lap board.
Here they come. Flying down.
312 on the Yamaha from Two Wheel Obsession there in Gosford. Got a bit hooked up on one of the ruts there. Taj Cosgrove from Power Sports Central. Another local motorbike shop here. On a Husqvarna or a Yamaha. Matt Morris said there, Power Sports Central. Okay, 39 cruising past us now. Now commentary 38 and 39. They're quite a big field here as they are quite spread out. Might be a bit tricky on if you guys are looking online to tell who's in first and who's in 10th, but Liam Millard out in front as he goes over the triple. About to go over to the centre. His last time. I'll tell you what, it's these kids clearing those 2 big tabletops. It's a pretty big effort.
So the wind's going across the top of the power pole, power line hill. Here he comes.
Okay, that's Liam Millard out in front. He's had a pretty easy ride there, bit of a battle earlier on, but goes over to take the checkered flag.
There's a nice little battle on here. We'll get these 3 coming down. It's about 6, 7 and 8 maybe. Go for a couple more over the finish line. So Julian's just ducked off for a sec. So looks like fun, don't it, friends? Eh? How good's the bike's been going? The racing's been pretty cool. Launching, getting some big airs over these jumps. Just stay there and get the bikes coming down as they finish.
I think this is going to be pretty exciting coming up now. We've got the MX1 riders, so these are the best riders we've got here, the fastest riders.
So this is like first grade?
This is exactly like first grade.
All right, here we go. Strap yourselves in. First grade, about to come up.
These are the best and the quickest riders we've got here today, so if you're listening and watching online, make yourselves comfy.
Here we go. 4 laps, is it?
This will be...
How many laps for these guys?
I think it'll be 4. Doesn't say on my list. In fact, it's 10 minutes, so it'll be 10 minutes.
All right, so it's like a power, it's a
it's a bit of a marathon, a little bit. Yeah, it'll be 10 minutes plus 1 lap actually. So all the other competitors so far have been doing 4 laps.
So we've got 127, 235, 228, 118, 43, 77, 222, 59. A couple over this right there. $64, 270. So who we got in this race? Any names there for us?
We got Danny Anderson again, 104.
104, Daniel Anderson. 104, can we see? Here we go. They're off. We're off and racing.
Alrighty, pretty clean
Yeah,
start
Max.
away.
Oh, I killed it. There we go. Got the camera back.
MX1.
MX1. Big boys.
I'm not sure what happened here. I'm not sure if these guys got hooked up at the start or they're just giving these guys a bit of a head start. But meanwhile, out in front, on the Yamaha this week, Ayrton Hibbert. I remember this youngster when he cleared this upcoming jump for the first time on an 85, and now he's an adult racing against some of the quickest guys in the Hunter region. Okay, we've got Waddell straight on his back tyre.
First and second coming around there. It's a nice little battle through the muddy bit. Heading up to the power line.
All right, Hibbert just about to cross over for his first lap on the Yamaha, followed by Waddell on the Husqvarna. Oh, sorry, no, it's not Hibbert, it's Junior Parker.
To the air over here at the bottom, flying through the shadows.
Whoa, one of our riders got it wrong, went over the back of the burn there in front of us. So we got Aaron out in front, Waddell, hot on his tail, back in third. Got Reese Armstrong, Riley Jamison, Jack Roberts, Junior out in front as he heads up over the rollers. As Junior goes up to the horseshoe, goes out quite a lot wider than what Waddell did. They're not mucking around, these two at the front. So it just gives you a bit of an idea. I'm pretty sure Junior would be in his 30s and Aaron would be in his 30s, and Aidan Waddell back there in second would probably be about 21 or thereabouts.
Yeah, righto.
Just give you an idea of
the experience of each rider.
That's right. Over the years, Junior's had a few breaks, so it's good to see him up being ultra competitive again. Waddell closing right up under brakes there as they come down to the bottom part of the track here, over the rollers, the flat left-hand corner. Waddell still hot on the rear tyre. These guys really getting it super far. Okay, Waddell closing right up. Parker goes inside. Waddell goes outside looking for a bit of a slingshot effect there. Still finds himself in second place as they head up over the rollers. Armstrong back in third. Good ride by Jamison back there in fourth on the two-stroke. See Parker taking that line. It must be working for him as he gets maximum drive up the hill there to that horseshoe. Parker comes down into that tight left hand as he puts full throttle down as he sends it up the hill. Okay, one of our riders has come off through the uphill roller section. Back on his feet, he looks okay. Just got to get that bike up and started again. All right, as Parker comes over tabletop before the finished tabletop, it's just peeling the laps off now. So once again, if you're listening or watching online, guys, this is 10 minutes plus 1 lap. Those our leaders down at the bottom of the field. Looks like one of the other riders had a little bit of a get off there in the left-hander. Our riders going down the bottom section of the track. Waddell seems to catch right up to it. Oh, his leg came off as he landed quite heavily over that little hump jump there. He's been watching Parker's lines the past couple of laps. Trying to take the same lines as Parker this time, hoping to bridge that gap again. He manages to find himself really close on the back tyre of Parker. Parker seems to really get that power down as he goes up the hill to the step up. So it's our first and second. Send it over centre. Back over the second tabletop. Parker still takes that nice wide line. This is where he makes up all. Really extends his gap a little bit through those two corners there. Extends his gap over Waddell as they head up over the top of the tabletop there into the top end of the track underneath the power line. Waddell, Parker out in front. 10 minutes plus 1 lap here. Good crowd out here at Lakes, all enjoying the sun. Beautiful day here. Great racing. All right, Waddell's putting a much cleaner lap together this time. The boys down the bottom end of the track. If you're familiar with the track, it's down near the street. Waddell really going quick there. A lot closer than he has been. He went a lot further. This is pretty exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Right on that backside of Parker in front. Parker hasn't made one mistake just yet. And the lap rider's giving them plenty of distance to make those passes and get round them cleanly. Parker goes over centre, Waddell. They flip it left, they flip it right. Into the horseshoe. All right, Waddell taking a different tack this time. He's going high, trying to get a bit more drive, go deeper into the corner. He's definitely a lot closer this time than he has. That line looked like it's worked for Waddell. He's a lot closer. As Parker goes over through the bowl. All right, our 2 leaders going over the finish tabletop to greet the last lap board. All right, has Waddell got enough in him? He's definitely a lot closer this time round. Looks like we're sticking with the leaders.
Sticking with the leaders.
A lot closer. There's definitely been action-packed here at Lakes. All right, Parker. A little bit of a bobble there in the bottom corner. Waddell. Still pretty close. Parker's going to shut the door. Waddell nearly goes off the track. Wow. He came in real hot. Couldn't pull it up. He still hasn't dropped too much off the back. This just might be enough. He's certainly thrown everything at Parker out in front.
Yep.
All right, we're with our leaders still. There's some bush riders. There's some bush riders at the top of the hill checking out all the action here at Lakes. All right, Waddell, really close this time.
Just overtaking someone.
I reckon that's the closest he's been all race, but I think he's going to run out of corners. At least he's got a last ditch at it. He's gone really wide. This is going to be close. Wow, that was a great race.
Wow, what a race.
Congratulations, Aaron Junior Parker. Hey, even the guys in the crowd on the grassy bank enjoying the sun, enjoying the racing as well. How good was that?
Fantastic. That's basically that's the first grade of the big boys.
That is the first grade of our sport. This is what all the riders can only aspire to be, is up at the pointy end of the field in MX1. Alrighty, who else we got next up? We're back to the little bikes. We've got the Divi 2 kids.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, most of those bikes are all 450s, so 450 4-strokes. They're quite powerful, very torquey engines.
Okay. Do you ever get any like air comps or whatever?
No, not so much. So we have to run a permit to hold these meetings. So this permit is a race permit. So yep. I do believe that for big air jumps or tricks would require a different type of permit. So, but nonetheless, still plenty of action here on the track here at Lakes.
Oh, yeah, no, it's awesome.
These riders are definitely sending it over centre, which is one of the sayings we've always had here, and with centre being the pinnacle of this track, and it's the most famous jump of the track.
Yep. Might just quickly jump on, share the stream.
That's a good opportunity. So we've got the little 50 autos out here.
Little 50s.
All right.
Oh, where are they?
The 50 autos. Divi 2s. So these are quite a few of them running quite high there, but a clean start nonetheless. All right, looks like we've got that famous surname once again out in front. I think it's young Braxton Anderson, followed by Flynn Burgess in second. We'll pick some of these numbers up as they come around and get a bit closer to us in this commentary position. There's no doubt they're going.
Oh, someone's come unstuck. He looks like he's okay. He's moving.
There's one of the dads going up there to give him a hand.
Yep.
Okay, so once again, you'll notice these little Divi 2 kids, they're doing what we call the cut-off.
Okay, yeah, they cut across there to the left somewhere.
Yeah, then they just
pop out
in the back.
So yeah, they're running up just to make sure the young fella's all right.
Yep, that's it. So young Braxton Anderson, 104, out there in front place. First place, Lenny Burgess on the cobber in second. We'll pick a couple of these other ones as they come around. Okay, we've got a few of our marshals over there attending to one of those little fallen riders. So those of you guys watching online, live online, if you see that wave checkered flag, wave red cross flag, it means that there's a medic on track and one of the riders requires medical attention. So what it means to the riders is, as you can see, the fluorescent yellow rider Flynn Burgess, he drastically reduced the speed in this one. They cannot jump and they cannot overtake until they get past the next marshal point. So there are penalties for all the riders if they do happen to overtake under these conditions. The riders explained all this to them at the start of the day under their riders briefing. So the medic's up there giving medical attention to that little rider now. Gives the opportunity for some of our track crew, gives them a chance to get a bit of water on the track. So far we've been able to keep the conditions while it's quite warm here, so you can appreciate that the track's going to dry out quite quickly under these warmer conditions. So next up we'll probably be back to bigger bikes, I'd imagine, but we're on track now. So we'll be back to the junior lights riders. So these riders are all, how they work the ages out and the grading of the riders out is you can ride in a class and it's determined by the age you are at the 1st of January. So,
okay.
So if you're, say 15 at the start of January, you'll ride in the under 16 class. Once you turn 16 in motorcycles, or in motocross racing, once you turn 16 and you go into that next year, you actually start competing as a senior. So it's a pretty tough gig for some of these kids at the age of 16. They're racing against adults, but that's just how they work the age groups out for the motocross riders here. Young Flynn Burgess is out there in front, in first place on his Cobra. Braxton Anderson back there in second. I think our little fallen rider's having a bit of a ride in the buggy. I'll bring the rider back down to the medical area and give the little rider the once-over. Flying Flynn, they call him, out in front.
Ryan Flynn, he's flying at the moment.
He certainly is. 348 probably needs a special mention there back there in third. He's been there third all day. That's Harlan Webber in third place, so well done to him. Wow, that's a big effort. See how Flynn hits that double. The other kid's not quite making it, but that's a massive effort on a 50cc bike. There's one of the electric 50s going past. You didn't even hear it.
No. So yellow flag still going.
Callum Morris.
Someone else has come off.
I'm not even sure where this rider is. Okay,
he's up over the top, up the top there.
One of our photographers is picking up the bike. Alrighty, looks like the rider's up. The photographer's got the rider up and running again. Yeah, often they just need a little bit of encouragement to get going again. Dust themselves off and then off they go again. Not really sure where our leaders are at the moment, Boyd. These little 50s are buzzing around everywhere.
I think they're finished. They're finished, mate.
Oh, there we go. Oh, big round of applause, those little 50 kids anyway. A couple of them came off, so we hope they're all right. You can hear the revs building of these teenagers just about to come up next.
Yeah, so what have we got coming up now?
We've got the junior lights again, and this time on the 125. So before they were on their 4-stroke 250s.
Yep.
Now they're on their 125s. That's a pretty big crowd. There's not much of a queue at the canteen at the minute. Let's hope everybody's hanging on the fence and waiting to see some cracking junior lights action coming up.
Is there an advantage on where you are when you take off? Is there a bit of an advantage at all, being inside, outside?
Well, generally speaking, at most tracks, either side of the starters box seems to be the preferred gate to go from, but every rider has got their own favourite gate. Some of them will like to take the outside gate, and they kind of can keep the power on a bit longer and swoop around the outside of them all. But yeah, as a general rule of thumb, either side of the start gates are the preferred gates. Start box, that is. All right, as the revs are building, our 125s are racing. All right, Riley Burgess straight to the front. As we've seen in the previous race, Nate Ebick straight to the front. Sonny Antonio, Zach Henry, Riley Burgess.
Oh, bike riders have come off.
There's plenty of them.
A few have fallen off.
Yep. And one of them's my boy. Oh, look. There's a bunch of them all off there.
It's a yellow flag.
Yeah, the wave's yellow. Oh, looks like no one was hurt, which is great.
Yep, we got someone right in front of that camera. Committee member. Oh, he's tracking it. Yellow shirt committee member. Yeah, we'll go over and watch the tabletop.
All right, as our leaders going over the top of the hill. Top tabletop for the first time. Nate Ebick, he's really checked out on the first lap.
Oh, here comes the leader now. Flying along.
All right. So this guy out in front lives not too far from the track, puts plenty of laps around here, 14 years of age.
14.
The guy in third's 14 also. All right, there's plenty of them here. As Ebick comes down into that right hand as he's about to go up over the rollers for the second time. Burgess back in third. Oh, one of our other riders has come off down there, up the top. The marshal's pretty quick to the spot to get his yellow flag out. Our medics are jumping in the buggy. there's a bit of action here in this one, Boyd.
Yeah.
We had a big
spills, kills, and Monday pills.
That's it. Yeah, there'll be a lot of banged and bruised up riders. Unfortunately, it comes with the sport, but the field quite spread out now. As that first place rider goes over for the third time on his third lap now. Antonio back in third. Sorry, second. Burgess in third. There goes Burgess past our commentary position. Eisel, Henry, Earl, all in the top 6 positions. Carries a lot of corner speed down the bottom. The field's really spread out now. I dare say pretty soon we'll find out our leaders coming up onto the back of some lap traffic. You can hear the sound of these two-strokes under full power. Okay, as he heads up the hill, up to the horseshoe. That's Ebic, our leader, into the horseshoe corner. Over the single he goes. Down into the tight left-hand turner. No doubt she'll be getting pretty rutted through there now as he sends it up the hill. Up to the step up. So we're sticking with the leaders for a bit as another rider got hooked up there amongst those deep ruts. As Ebic comes down the bowl, over the rhythm through the doubles, sets of tabletops as Ebic takes on his last lap now, on the last lap board. Our first 2 riders extending the gap there a little bit over Burgess there, back in third. Eisel 4th, Henry 5th. Earl, 6. Big gap back to 7th place here. Looks like one of the girls. Looks like Ebic's going to go over centre for his last time in the 125. Round 2. Still one more race to go for these guys. Oh, he's had this race pretty well all to himself.
Yeah, he's killed it. He's nailed it.
All right, as he goes, just ready to take the checkered flag. Put your hands together, Nate Ebic. Start to finish. He got that one done. Really nice race there. Didn't really make any mistakes. Didn't look over his shoulder. They had that saying, if you look down, you fall down, but no, he didn't put a foot wrong. Pretty consistent ride by him. He's young Kobe Reid, sporting a cast. So yeah, well, I think that race we had a bit of everything in that one, Boyd. We had a bit of a tangle on the third corner. We had a few other crashes throughout the race too, but most importantly, everybody has been able to get up on their bikes and finish the race, so there's no injuries to speak of, which is great.
That was an action-packed race.
Yeah, well, it's a bit tough when the commentator's boy goes down, but anyway, that's racing. That's racing. Here's our first place. He's pitted very close to us in our commentary position. Both Dad and Ryder looking pretty pleased with themselves. High fives all round. definitely show these other riders a clean pair of heels. He's definitely got some pace around here. So what do we got next up on track? We're probably going back to, looks like, oh, we could be going into round 3.
Round 3.
So we're getting really getting on with his day. Oh no, not quite round 3 yet. So next up, actually, we are. We've got the Carnage class, it looks like. No. Yeah, we are. We're deep. We're going to be going right into round 3. Race 23. Over 35s.
Over 35s. There we go.
4 laps, and then obviously after that we'll have our senior women again, which is great. So we're really rocking on with this day here at Lakes. Everyone out enjoying the springtime sun. I'm not sure if it's spring yet, but Rev's got the Carnage class, the vets. They're on track. All these riders over 35 or over 45.
Whoa.
As Danny Anderson.
Danny Anderson ripped down the top high. Is that out in front there?
Yeah, Danny Anderson right out in front. Really showing him a clean pair of heels here. He's hasn't been on the bike too much this year, so he's pretty keen to get involved in our Memorial Weekend, which is coming up.
What's he on?
I think he's going to be racing in a couple of classes. We've brought in a vintage class, so I think he might be competing in the vintage class as well. We're pretty excited that we've come up with a lot of fresh ideas, and one of those new ideas is we're going to get the vintage class here. We had Heaven VMX host one of their rounds here earlier in the year. And based on the success of that, the feedback that the riders gave us, we thought, let's get them involved in our Memorial Weekend. So we hope plenty of those guys turn up. We're going to have a bit of a bike show as well for some of these vintage bikes.
Yeah, nice.
And we're going to give some prize money away to the best judged vintage bike on the day. So as Anderson goes over the start line on his second lap now. I think that's Andrew Tipper back in second. He's not on my list, but it looks like him. He's used to be on a Cowie, now it looks like he's on a Husky. That's why I didn't recognise him. Andrew Tipper's on the committee up there at the Maitland Motorcycle Club.
Okay.
I think his children are out here racing today too. I think he's already mentioned his daughter's name. Like we said earlier, these are a full family affair. You can hear all the happy people in the background talking. All right, so we got Dixie, Danny Anderson. He sends it over the centre. Tipper's there in second.
He's flying, isn't he? He's built a bit of a lead.
I don't know what happened to Craig. Craig was out here earlier this morning on that 500cc, but I haven't seen him yet into round 2. Now we're in round 3, so maybe he's just come for a little bit of a shakedown and then headed home. Nonetheless, we hope to see these guys in the middle of October at the Memorial Weekend here at Lakes. Geez, Anderson really goes wide there as he comes down into the bowl. Over the finish tabletop he goes. He comes past the canine in the commentary's position. Tipper in second. I think that's Marshall. We've had him before. In third. And Andrew McGregor back there in fourth. Actually, nice to see a Suzuki. You tend not to see a whole lot of Suzukis these days. They're the only motocross manufacturer that are still producing a kickstart. All the other manufacturers have gone to electric starts.
Fair enough. There you go.
Yeah. So, old Ken Roxon, they call him Kickstart Kenny because he's one of the only riders in America that has to race while kickstarting his bike. All right, We didn't put the commentary curse on Kickstart Kenny, but we...
he's on the track, he's off.
Yeah, one of our boys had a bit of a lay down, he's up. All right, all these are our vets. All these guys are either over 35 or 80, 45. They may not look that, but we can assure you. All right, Anderson about to come over the finish tabletop on the last lap. Tipper, he greets the last lap board too. Top of the hill is our third place rider, so it gives you an understanding of how much these two front riders have really pulled away from the rest of the field. Obviously, when you're into your 30s and 40s, you just don't quite have the bike fitness that you once had. We hear Tipper going up into the old Macca section. Early in the year we had a sand section going through there, which is what we're looking to bring back. The Memorial put the sand section down, coming down the hill there, just before the lake sign. I put a sand section in there, so that's something different. As Tipper's riding a pretty sensible race there, back in second place. He's got out there in a second and just can consolidate. Anderson uses that tight horseshoe corner, give himself an opportunity to look back and see where second place is. All right, Anderson ends up top of the hill over the step up. Under the power lines, he goes over the tabletop. His last time as he heads down into the fishbowl. He's backed out of it now. He's got this.
Fly boy.
No doubt he's going to be exhausted. I think this might be only the second or third time he's been on the bike all year.
Yeah, right.
Well done, Tipper, in second. Our third place rider, he's looking a bit exhausted too.
Definitely, you would notice the fitness, wouldn't you?
Oh, for sure. You'd be thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't have had that extra beer I had last night. But all in all, it's been pretty exciting for the vets. I think that's the final time we're going to see the vets today, I think, because now we're in round 3. Some of these guys are coming to the conclusion of their day. Yeah, that's it for those guys. We've got the ladies coming up, guys, so if you're listening or watching online.
I think the live version, is it still cracking? I don't know. Oh yeah, still going. Just trying to reconnect. But we're, as I said, I'll upload the stream later on the YouTube.
Yeah, it's a good crowd here. There's everyone in shorts and t-shirts. Couple of riders still on track. Beautiful day up here. There's not a cloud in the sky. We've got Lake Macquarie behind us. No doubt it'll be a nice day out in the water there. One of our sponsors has jumped on board to help us out for our memorial round is the Toronto pub, which overlooks Lake Macquarie. Beautiful place there. Okay, the senior women straight to the front. Mia Tung on the Honda. Putting all that experience when she's raced past 2 rounds of Pro MX up in Queensland. Using all that experience. She's told us she's learned a lot. She's putting that into good practice right now. These are all ladies over the age of 16.
Okay. Oh, not afraid to give us some air.
Absolutely. And as I sort of said for everybody that was listening earlier, with our big meeting that's coming up in the middle of October, we've got the prize money equal to the men, which is great. So, we're seeing a lot in recent times, the ladies definitely getting their opportunities to shine in all things sport in Australia, which is really great. I know in the 10 plus years I've been involved in motocross, this is probably the most ever I've seen. You know, the numbers of female participants, which is really great. It's not necessarily your go-to or your traditional female sport, but the numbers are growing year upon year. So we've got our first two riders out in front, all racing at the national level. So it's good to see them out there. No doubt these ladies are putting in a lot of practice, because $1,000 is pretty good prize money if you're going to be at that pointy end of the field come middle of October. So we got Mia Tung, just turned 16. Sienna Gertis back in second, she'd be in her early 20s. Monique Simpson back there in third. She's improved quite a bit lately, Boyd.
Yep.
Not sure where she's been practicing. I think she's not long back from an injury, but it doesn't look like it's disadvantaged her at all. She's up there in third place now. So it'd be great to see all these ladies come mid-October will be in the hunt for the money, the prize money. There's plenty other ladies that we know that are going to come and give it a go and have a crack at that prize money come mid-October. So it's good that these ladies get the opportunity to race by themselves, as you can appreciate.
100%.
You know, there's, as you could see in the 35s class, some of those guys in the over 35s, whilst they're over 35, they're still quite talented and still quite fast. So to have the opportunity to race against ladies, it's great. It's an awesome opportunity for these ladies to have their own race and just do it their own style. As Mia Tung heading down into the bowl. These two ladies out in front have pretty much had it all their own way. A Honda in first, a KTM in second. Mia's mum and dad here. Sienna's father, Christian, he's here as well. So hopefully these girls will see them again soon. Monique Simpson in third. She's actually extended her gap on fourth place. 34 going past us now. That's Kayla. Well, I'll leave that surname to you, I think, Boyd.
Mate, I'm the worst.
But nonetheless, really nice ride here by these ladies. And they're going equally quick as the boys, and a lot of these girls have been riding against the boys today anyway, just to get that valuable seat time. It's like all sports, the more you do it, the better you're going to be and the more you're going to improve. So a lot of the riders will opt to ride in two classes just to maximise their track time. Looks like we've got a bit of a battle going on here, Boyd, up the over the roller section. This could be a battle for, I think, fourth. This might be worthwhile following this one for a little bit, because
we're on them
as they're coming down into centre. Two riders right on the back of each other's tyre. I know the crowd's pretty interested in what's going on here. It's going to be a bit of a drag race as they go up the hill over the centre. And once again, for these ladies just to be clearing these jumps so easily, it's awesome. Okay, one goes wide, one goes tight. They'll probably jockey each other here for a little bit. Is that fifth place rider going to get the move done? May run out of corners, better get the power down quick. As Mia's on her last lap now, a leader, first two riders on their last lap. As the ladies at the top of the hill, still pretty close to each other. They both tip in the bowl. Third place is going past the canteen and the commentary post now. This is the battle for fourth and fifth here. Okay, here we go, under brakes. Again, fifth place. Challenging herself to take different lines to try and get that overtaking move done. They're still pretty close together. They go down the back of the track here over the back tabletop, coming into this left-hander. 855's caught up again. I think she's she's had enough sitting in the roost. She needs to get this pass done. Alrighty, she goes inside. No, sitting on a back tyre. I think they're both pushing each other along.
They're having a good battle.
Certainly are. They're catching right up onto the back of the third place rider there, Monique Simpson. Okay. Yeah, quite exciting. All right, our first place rider heading up the hill for the final time today in the senior women's. There's still the battle going as
She's well out in front.
Oh, it certainly is.
She comes down now, down the hill. What'd you call it, the bowl?
Yeah, the bowl, yeah. It used to be more of a bowl, but some habits are hard to break. We always used to call it the bowl, it's the fish bowl.
Second place on its way down now.
That's Sienna Gudis. Good ride by her. I think she's been in second all day today, so racking up all those important points. I'm not sure what happened here, but it looks like our battle for fourth and fifth, something's happened.
Yeah, I can't.
They've they're separated a little bit there, so something on track's happened there. Yeah, that was pretty good too.
Yeah, that was a great race. We got the live stream back up in time just for that race as well. She cut out there, had to reset it and
that's sensational.
Come back on, so that was good.
Oh, mate, it was good. These ladies.
As we were saying, unfortunately, out in the bush here, it's not the best internet.
The reception's a bit average on the phones as well. They had a few issues earlier, I think about the same time as yourself up there with the scoring. It dropped out as well, the live timing, that is, I'm sorry. So next up on track we're back into some of the smaller classes. We're back to the 65s. So we're at the well into round 3 now. Pretty good day so far. Everybody out here enjoying the sun and sitting on the grassy bank.
And blow some dust off the equipment.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of dust floating around, but for the most part we've been able to keep the track conditions pretty good all day, which is really good. Hopefully we haven't upset the neighbours with too much dust.
No, it's pretty much don't really see much dust at all.
Sounds like they're calling up some of the other classes to the dummy starting grid.
Getting ready. Here they go. Oh.
All right, 65s are away. Liam Millard straight to the front. 26 on the Husqvarna. Yeah, pretty clean getaway there. No one looks like they got tangled up anywhere. Which is a good job for these little dudes. One of our track guys walking down through the middle of the track there.
Oh, someone's come off. We've got a rider unstuck.
Yeah, we do have a saying in motocross riding that you do need to ride to the conditions. The conditions may change throughout the event. So you do need to be, ride with your wits and ride to the conditions.
What happens if it's raining?
We do race through rain unless there's lightning. All the track is deemed unsafe. So we had an instance, I think, a couple of meets back where the MX1 riders went out, so they're like the first graders.
Yep.
They went out and said, nah, we're not racing, it's not safe. So we had to call the meeting off, and the positions were given based on the first 2 races. So meanwhile, back on track, we've got our first place rider, Liam Millard, 26. Mum's the backbone of this club as well. She's up there in the score tower in that little shoebox up the top there near the finish line. Getting all our results sorted and all our timing sorted. So, all right, Liam sends it over the big 2 hump jumps there. Young Taji Taj Cosgrove back there in second. Third place there. Brody Hart. 199. Cruz Ellis. I think he had a bit of an off in the first one, so it's good to see him back up and running again and up towards the front of the field. I think he's in, what, 5th place there, in the bright yellow gear. Meanwhile, Liam just sends it over centre. Clears the second tabletop. Taj also sends it over centre. As Liam in first place goes around the horseshoe. Here's some of the 4-strokes warming up in the background. And that's what you guys can hear there. All right, as our first place rider Liam into the bowl. His mum's out of the score tower having a bit of a squeeze. Pretty nice race by him out in front. Young Taj Cosgrove in second. Nice little ride there from Power Sports. Starting to get a bit of sun in our little commentary spot here. Starting to warm up.
Starting to defrost.
That's it. As Brody Hart just went past us there. He's in third, 85, going past us now. That's Banjo Thompson. Followed by, we spoke of him before, that's young Cruz Ellis. 429 on the Yamaha going past us. It's Levi Spiteri, followed by Caden Riley. The field pretty well spread out now. All right, as our leader's about to go over centre for the last time, or might be second last. 450 cruising past us now.
The leader's got a big gap there.
Oh, there's a big gap. Everyone having fun though, that's the main thing. It's what we do here.
That's it. Looks like I need to get out there on a Pee-wee 50.
Well, I'll leave that to you. I just putt around. I'm only good for about 2 laps these days. All right, he's pretty well had this race all to his own. Pretty lonely out in front, but he greets the last lap board by his mum, young Liam Millard. Pretty successful meeting he had up there in the Junior Aussies up in Northern Territory last month. Taj Cosgrove, 235 in second. Sound like little mozzies, some of these bikes.
Bit of a battle going on, coming down towards centre. About to go over the jump.
It's great to see these kids all progressing through the bike size as they get older and still loving their sport. Right, as our leaders, not sure why either Liam's backed off a bit or Taj has really put a big last lap dash on, because he looks like he's closed the gap. As our leaders go over the step up for the final time. That's a good ride by Taj. I'm not really sure what happened there, but he's really closed right up. Looks like Liam was going to have that race all to his own. And
he's clawed back.
Meanwhile, he has led from start to finish, but Taj has really closed that gap in. Well done to him. First two riders over the line. Big gap back to third. I'm not even sure third is. There we go. The people on the bank appreciating that, which is always good. Good sportsmanship. You'll also notice that a lot of the time that the riders, when they go off that dummy chute off the exit of the track there, they'll all wait for each other and pat each other on the back or give each other fist pumps or what have you. So yeah, it's good to see a lot of good sportsmanship going on as well. A bit more clapping there by the crowd, so everybody appreciating the effort these little dudes have put in. So I'll probably see the next group of 65 class coming up next, which is cool. Sounds like we can hear our water pump going up there. So we're definitely into the pointy end here.
It's been a fun day.
Round 4 here at Lakes, and this is they get 3 races of the day, so they've deciding laps. Round 1, round 2, and round 3. Okay, so Medic's on a bit of a move here, so not quite sure what's going on here, but anyway, oh no, we've got one of our little guys down.
So we've got about, what time is it? 45 minutes left of the race streaming.
That's it, guys. So if there's anyone else you want to quickly share, you got any friends and family you want to share with, or anyone you know is racing in these next couple of races, quickly spread the word.
Well, like I said, they can jump on and check it out any time, though. So,
okay, there you go.
Yeah, it'll be always up there on the YouTube, so you can just go home and watch it later.
Make sure you save it as a favourite then, by the sounds of it.
Subscribe.
Happy Cam Sports. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. You can share it with your friends. Little fellas have got a bit of a hop, a little bit of a limp, so...
Where's the young boy? Is he all right?
He's hopping. We've got our medics over here. One of the medics picked the little fella up, so hopefully that rider won't be too bad.
Yeah, I guess they're very, they do a good job, the medics. That's where we're sort of camped out here at the medic area.
Yeah, they got to be, pretty astute and aware of what's going on. Sometimes these kids also will get pinned under their bikes, and as you can appreciate, they're quite heavy machines, and they're very, very difficult to get yourself out from under the bike. So when the bike does fall on you, you're not necessarily always going to sustain a big injury, but you definitely have the potential to have some bruising. So one of our marshals up there going to fetch the bike up. The little rider finds himself giving a free trip in the buggy. Let's hope the little rider's not too badly injured, and Mum and Dad will probably meet him at the side of the track, which is good.
So the next race coming up is the...
It looks like we'll have the older 65 class coming up next, I believe. So
they look like your little fellas on the bikes.
Oh, we're going into nippers, are we? Oh yeah, well, the breeze sounds like it's picking up a little bit here.
It does. It's getting a bit nippy again.
That's right. Yeah, I was last night. If you went away from that fire, it was definitely fresh. Well, as we can hear in the background, the bike's fine. Oh, it looks a bit banged up in the bars, to be honest with you. All right, we're away. As we've seen all day, our famous surname, Anderson, gets the whole shot straight to the front. Burgess back in second. 65s.
So I take it you have quite a lot of volunteers?
Well, the sport wouldn't run. It's like all sports. you know, wouldn't run without the help of the volunteers and all the hours that people spend in the background to, you know, make these events possible. So yeah, we've got quite a big committee here, and generally speaking on the committee, both, you know, mum and dad will help out. That's the same in all the clubs. It's the same in soccer and all sports, no doubt. The lawn bowls guys had plenty of volunteers helping out there as well.
That's it. Without volunteers, a lot of sports don't happen. Thankless jobs too sometimes.
It certainly is. And, you know, sometimes sport doesn't always go, the cards don't always go your way, but it is a bit unfortunate sometimes when some of our volunteers do copper spray, but I guess that's racing in that sport, and you got to leave it on the field sometimes.
Well, there we go. It's a good little battle for first and second over the first lap.
Yeah, these two have been doing it all day, we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Two little blokes just checking out. They just come screaming past on the 65s. We saw them a moment ago on their 50 autos. Now they're banging bars on the 65s this time, these little fellas. So that famous surname Anderson out in front. Here's another little fella back here on the gas. Looks like Ollie Balchin, which is good to see. He's cruising along and pretty casual there in third. Anderson, oh, he's nailed the triple this time. Oh, that's maybe the secret to why he's staying out in front, the secret to a bit more speed. He wasn't doing it earlier, but he's nailed it on his second lap. That's good.
So just for our viewers that are not sure, what were you talking about?
So down over here, the double hump jump. Okay, we've had one of our riders come off over the finish tabletop. We've got medic flags. There's people scrambling everywhere. So let's hope this little rider's okay. It looks like Dad's there, being picked up. So once again, the riders are going to have to ride to the flags and the conditions. Young Flying Flynn in second. We've seen him all day. It's been the Anderson and Burgess show. At least this rider was able to get off the track, out of the racing line, so that we can continue racing on this one. We've got one of the other riders off just behind the lake sign. Up and riding, just need a little bit of assistance to pick that bike up. As we said, these bikes can be pretty heavy, and particularly when you put a couple of kilos of mud on there. We've got this battle coming down into the bowl though, Boyd. Look at this.
Yeah, mate.
Burgess really closed up onto the back tyre.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
he overtook him in the air. Did you see that?
Neck and neck.
Wow, see, and now you notice that they really wound the speed off. They both have to hold their position.
So then they can get into it once they pass it. Is that right?
That's right. They technically had to get past that fellow there on the corner before they could get on the gas. So that was a bit of a line ball call, that one. But I think from what we've been seeing, Burgess has carried the pace and he's got round him again. Bit of good sportsmanship there though too. Okay, so Burgess went in the triple that time. Anderson pulled up and he didn't hit that. Oh, it used to be a triple, but we made some track modifications to a point and made it into like a double hump jump. So, but unfortunately, I still refer to it as the triple.
Okay.
I was pretty stoked myself some years ago when I was able to hit that triple for the first time. From what you guys are watching online, you can probably see that majority of riders are doing it, but it requires you to commit at the bottom of the corner there, and you got to commit and carry a lot of corner speed and carry that momentum over the two little humps there. So, all right, young Flynn Burgess in that very recognisable bright yellow gear. I think it's becoming a bit of a trademark for this young rider. Flying Flynn in that flying yellow gear on the Cobra. Bit of lap traffic in front of them now. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. So stay online. We're coming to the pointy end of our time here with you.
No, it's been good fun.
As you can see, as the afternoon comes on, it does make it a bit challenging as the as the shade starts to come over here, puts a bit of shading on the back of the track, so it makes it a little bit difficult.
Does that affect the riders?
A little bit on the vision. Makes it hard when you're coming in out of the sun, and yeah, it's a bit challenging. All right, Burgess is coming up to some of the lap traffic now as he comes down to the bottom end of the track over the little roller section. The roller section recently got a bit of a revamp. We tidied up some of those rollers in past weeks just to make them a bit nicer, and I think the riders are appreciating that. It's they can race through there cleanly as little Flinny hits it, and so did Anderson that time. He's carrying a lot more speed this time, Anderson. He's going to get around this lapper pretty quickly. As you can see, the lappers are still quite quick, and you have to work and commit to make these passes. Burgess is going high this time. He hasn't been doing that all day. Anderson taking the same line. So there's sometimes a benefit of doing that on these little bikes is they just don't have the power to go on the inside. So they go around the outside and gives them carry a little bit more momentum so they can clear that little tabletop. All right, so we'll probably be looking at some bigger bike action coming up shortly. Looks like we're going to be looking at the Junior Lights 250s again. That was a pretty exciting one before. All
yeah.
Top 5 riders were all fairly close. It was in their 125 class that we saw those couple of pile-ups that we saw. So definitely in the last however many minutes we got left, Boyd, there's plenty of action to go. So hope you guys enjoying what you're seeing, and like Boyd said, just save the link, subscribe to the channel, and you can share with your friends on your Facebook pages of how you guys have all gone today.
That's it. Watch yourselves back, and hope you enjoy it. And
quite a gap back to third place there.
Comes third place over the finish line now. We got a little battle on here. We'll get these couple of back runners here having a crack. Up around the top corner. Finish off with a nice across the top. Tell you, this camera, this little joystick I got, I don't know how to slow it down, but it needs to be slowed down a bit. It definitely. Who was it?
All right, we've got these 250 riders just chatting to young Danny Anderson. He's a little bit microphone shy, so he doesn't look like that when he's on the racetrack, though.
No.
He pins his ears back and just goes. All right, the revs build on this Junior Lights 250s.
Here they go. Into the shade.
Well, you know what, Boyd? Straight to the front all day today.
Yep.
Nate Ebeck flying 999. Better start by my boy this time. Didn't get tangled up in that first turn bingle that was had in the one before, so pretty clean start by all the riders here. Ebeck really sends it. First 3 riders, 5. Well, they're all doing it.
All launching. We'll stay with them all going over it. There they go.
Yeah, these guys are all, they don't seem to spread out as much as some of the other groups, but yeah, Ebeck, he's had a great day's riding out in front. His starts have been unreal. He really hasn't made a mistake too much anywhere. Both 125 and 250, he's been pretty dominant. Oh, my boy, he goes up into, what's that, 4th place or something, 5th place? No, lost it.
Lost it?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, Epic.
Over the finish line there.
There's Dad Troy there, checking him out, sideline in the trackies. All right, Nate, full noise. Sonny Antonio, Oscar Earl, Zach Henry, Ben Mackey, Jack Roberts, 100. All right, so there are your riders. They're all pretty bunched up together. This is probably an exciting race to stick with. We're getting down to pointy end of our time on here with you guys. Oh, Antonio's pretty close to this time. He's been eating Epic's roost all day. He's like, maybe there's something I can offer you this time. Real good racing. Antonio in second. He's not wanting one bit to let Epic get too far away. Epic whips it left. Whips it left again. You notice he takes a similar line up there to we saw Aaron Parker in MX1 earlier.
Yep.
Really, really wide, hangs right out to the left, cuts in tight through the horseshoe. Bit of a battle back there. Third, what's that, fifth or sixth or something, I think it might be Boyd.
Well, have a look there. Yep,
Yeah,
got the three.
In the rut there, those three, and behind
We'll stay
green
with them.
Yellow. Bit of a battle there.
Let's follow those boys around across the top.
Okay, as they go across the top, Henry in the bright yellow, Mackey, Roberts there on the Yamaha as they come down into the bowl. These what 7 riders have definitely put a bit of a gap over the rest of the field, so plenty of action. And Henry goes past. Mackey 580 on the KTM, 170, Jack Roberts. All right, there's our boys. Epic in the shade. He sends it over there, over the hump, get the power down. Antonio, similarly. Earl, much better race this time by him. He's about 6th the one before, now he's in 3rd. He's got a battle for your top 3 and then a battle for your next 3. There's been some pretty good racing. Henry looks over his shoulders to see how far back that 5th place rider is. I don't think anyone can afford to make any mistakes here because it's going to cost you.
That's very close.
All right, looks like Henry's extended his gap a little bit there in 4th. Look at this. This has actually been pretty exciting too. All right, Epic under the power lines he goes into the bowl. Antonio still with him. Earl back in 3rd. Epic over the finish line to greet his last lap board. So this is the last time we've seen him on the 250. He goes past our commentary position on the back wheel. Antonio still hanging on. The gap might have extended marginally. Earl still hanging on to 3rd. There's been some pretty action racing to these boys. The last time on the 250s. I'm not sure what's happened here. We've lost a couple of riders, boys. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
my boy's been gifted from 6th into 4th. Henry's bike's all banged up at the front. You can see that. Where's Mackey? There's Mackey. He must have come off somewhere as well. So I told you, I don't know if I put the commentator's curse on them, boys, but I said neither of these riders can afford to make a mistake. It's going to be costly.
No, top 3. They're coming around the...
Well, that was a shame, Boyd. Like, you know, those 3 riders there in 4th, 5th and 6th, they were getting really close to each other. I'm not sure what happened. Somebody had a bit of an off there, but, well, you've got to put your hands together. Epic out in front all day. Really smart riding all day out there. Antonio back there in 2nd, ultra consistent. Been 2nd place all day. He hasn't put too many foot wrong, but just hasn't been able to match the pace of Epic. I know one Anderson would be pretty proud that he's a rider he's put a lot of time and effort into. Nate Epic, Craig Anderson would be super proud. All right, cruising over the line and take the finish flag. That's a top race.
That was a great race. First, second, comes third.
Earl back in third. I really didn't see what happened.
Oop. Bit of battle going on here between these couple of riders here. They come down the bowl.
Oh mate, that was really good. I think we've probably only got a couple to go, have we? Before you got to
Yeah, I go to 3 o'clock.
you got to do your day job.
3 o'clock, half hour pack up. I reckon I'll smash it in and get the work.
Do your real job.
Get to the power station. Start at 4. Go drive trucks.
Which one of the power stations?
Raring, so not too far away.
Oh, okay. Didn't they recently close down the famous one? Bayswater and Liddell?
Liddell produced nothing.
Did they?
Yeah.
I went there, I reckon 25 years ago.
So that was a great race. That one. It was very action packed, very tight. They sort of didn't spread out too much.
No, they didn't. They definitely left the best till last. That's for sure. All right, so.
I think next time I come, I'll bring an extra camera so I can just get coming around this cemetery corner down here.
Yeah, yep.
It's like they sort of disappear from where the camera is behind the hill.
Well, we got the MX2 lights coming up, so if you're going to be able to capture these ones, we've still got plenty of action still to go.
Here we go. So what we got coming up? MX2. Is this the MX2, did you say?
Yeah, we've got MX2, A, B and C coming up, so that's definitely some action there from what we saw in the earlier ones.
Well, here they go, they're getting ready.
So I reckon that the way we're sort of going, we'll get MX2, we'll get that group, Nippers, and you could probably call it a day.
Sounds good. There we go.
All right, MX2, Aidan Waddell, straight to the front. Junior Parker in second. Oh, Cody Deese, he's had a great start there, but Boyd straight up in his second.
Well, they're still nicely grouped.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it makes better from your perspective when they're all bunched together and it's nice and tight racing and it's all clean and it's good. All right, Aidan Waddell, Cody Deese in second. Where's Parker this time? He's back in, what's that, back in fourth? Oh, we got the two Parker brothers here, I think. In third and fourth. Deese is really having a good go there in second.
Four of them coming down.
Yeah.
Coming down the bowl.
Like, as you know, Waddell's been quite on his own out the front all day, but Deese is really stringing it together on this last race for these guys. That's Aaron Parker. Oh no, that's Ayrton Hibbert there in fourth. Jack Roberts there in fifth. They're all quite bunched up here too.
They get some good speed coming down there, don't they?
Oh, sure, and it's and the track's really still holding together. Sometimes we can see some really bad braking bumps coming in there, but the track's holding together really quite well, considering how warm it is and the track's in the sun. Waddell, he carries the front wheel over the first three of those rollers. He's still in second. Aaron Parker back there in third. Ayrton Hibbert in fourth. Yeah. Deese really means business this time. He's not doing the big whips. He's just trying to get those tyres on the ground as fast as he can so he can get the power back down and he can keep running with Aidan Waddell in first place. Really going, using every square inch of the track there is Cody Deese in second. We are, as a general rule though, Boyd, as it's well publicised in the press, that it's pretty tough economic times. The numbers have been down over the past couple of weekends at multiple different events. So as much as there's been some great racing today, we are definitely seeing numbers down. I think we had well over 300 riders in our first round of the year. So,
all right.
But nonetheless, the action on track has been outstanding, mate. Waddell extending his lead now. Deese has a little bit of a look over his shoulder. See how close Parker is to him this time. Parker's trying to get the move on Deese here. Deese is really having a great ride. See, it's maybe take a couple of motos for him to get dialed in and figure out where his strengths and weaknesses are. Because Parker's surely not short on many laps around here. He's a Hunter local, put plenty of laps around this track. Waddell, not so many, he's from Sydney. But it's been really outstanding racing here today with minimal crashes. Track's held shape all day. One of our riders had a little bit of a slip off here. All right, as Waddell goes across the top. So don't forget that this race is 10 minutes plus one moto.
10 minutes plus one. Nice.
So I think when we come our Memorial weekend, these guys will be doing, I think, I could be corrected if I'm wrong, but either 12 or 15 minute motos. So, wow, he's really enjoyed himself today. Aidan Waddell out in front, past our commentary position on the back wheel. Deese just slipped back into third. I've only seen him a handful of times this year, but he's left his best ride till last. That Cody Deese there in back in third place there. Ayrton Hibbert on his brother's bike in fourth. Bit of a battle back here and a battle back to sixth, I think. Waddell going up through the rollers. The field really starting to spread out now. There's a bit of a battle there, boys. Two Yamahas, one 4-stroke, one 2-stroke.
Stay with them, boys. They're having a rip-in over the rollers.
You couldn't put a blanket over those two.
One's gone high. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He planned that move and done it quite easily in the end. Tell you what, Parker's really charging still in second. Deese is like, oh, I'll be happy with third. This has been my best ride of the day. I'll take that. 10 minutes for some of these boys is a marathon, I tell you. All right, Aidan Waddell in first. Aaron Parker on the 2-stroke this time. We saw him earlier in MX1 on the Yamaha 4-stroke. Cody Deese on the 2-stroke also, the Yamaha in third. Big gap back here. Ayrton Hibbert hasn't ridden a 2-stroke for a few years, I think. On his brother's 250 2-stroke in fourth. As the riders come out of the shadows into the rollers for the last time. Oh, not quite. We've still maybe got a couple of minutes left in this one. All right, Waddell about to hit centre. Here we go. Yeah, Parker's still running with him. I think you're probably going to lose out of time, but there's one of our senior women racing multiple classes. Oh, you got to love the sound of those 252 strokes. Cody Deese still hanging on in third. Really impressed with that ride. He got a bit tangled up in some of his early ones, but he's left the best to last, that's for sure. All right, Waddell, here he goes. He's about to greet the last lap board. top riding by him all day today in all classes. On the 23, Husqvarna. Waddell in first, Parker in second. Deese back in third. He's got good technique. I love how he keeps his under braking, his elbows up nice and high and wide. Textbook. Riley Jamison, 222 goes past us now. Parker's really caught up. I'm not sure if Waddell's just conserving energy, but Parker's really been pushing all 10 minutes of this moto. Waddell's probably going to have enough left in the tank to get the job done, though.
There's a bit of nutrition in there.
Parker did a massive whip over the second tabletop that time. I think he's just enjoying himself. Well, it's certainly been a great day. As one of the senior women, Sienna Gudis, goes past us. All right. If you guys are watching, viewers, pretty good weekend by Aidan Waddell. Well done. Aidan Waddell crossing to take MX2. First place. Aaron Junior Parker in second. Big gap back at the top of the hill. Cody Deese. Great start by him. Up the front where he needed to be. Getting the job done. Alrighty. Well, that's been pretty exciting, mate.
Yeah, no, that was great.
We've got, what do we got coming up next? Looks like we've got the 85s again. The big wheel class. And followed by that might be the nippers, so we might maybe look to wind her up at the end of these 85s. How's that sounding with you, boys?
Sounds good, mate. That's been a great fun and very enjoyable day. And
mate, it has, like,
hopefully, the viewers enjoyed the coverage.
Yeah, well, like you said, mate,
go back.
They all can subscribe, and hey, maybe you might pick up a few more lawn bowls. You know, people coming and spectators.
Might enjoy watching.
That's it.
And vice versa. Some of the motocross. I've got a big bowls tournament next weekend. Final coming up.
Yeah, where's that?
Saturday, Tarrant Point. Oh, no,
Tarrant Point?
I think it's Tarrant Point.
Down south.
Head down there and yeah.
Oh, that's good, mate.
I've done a few of the Australian Opens and get some very exciting games. You'll be surprised.
No, we've watched a little bit of, my son and I watched a little bit of lawn bowls over the time on TV, and I can definitely say it doesn't appear to be the old man sport that it once was perceived as.
No, no more. The best players are all young'uns.
Yeah. All right, 85s on the start line. Okay, they're away. Burgess to an early lead. We've heard that Burgess name quite a bit today. Two Burgess brothers. Early this year, moved up into the Hunter. Formerly from Sydney, but loving the opportunity to ride all these Hunter clubs. Quite a lot of these riders we've seen today are in the middle of putting some different setups on their bikes. We've got coming into Supercross season now, so some of these young 85 riders are trying to hone their skills in because they've got the opportunity in a couple of weeks. I think it might be early November, perhaps.
Yep.
To race in at the Knight Stadium under lights in the Supercross.
Wow.
So that's good opportunity for a lot of these kids. To race Supercross, so as we're watching today, this is motocross. So to race Supercross, it's obviously a little bit bigger jumps, more technical.
Indoor.
So you need to...
like an arena-style racetrack,
exactly.
More compact.
Yeah, more compact, a little bit less speed. But you need to actually also be licensed to do so. So you need to be able to prove to yourself that you can ride safely and compete. So you need to get yourself a Supercross endorsement, which is, again, nothing's cheap anymore, but that's another $200 to get a Supercross endorsement. Meanwhile, on track we've got the the roles have changed a little bit this time. In the previous one, we saw Seth Thomas out in front on the gas, Burgess in second. But no, in race 3, we got Burgess out in front, Seth Thomas in second. So we are in through the shadows there. Our first 2 riders. Oh, that was interesting of Thomas. Didn't get the front wheel down until he got to the bottom of that hump. So he's definitely on a mission there. Going to stay with Burgess. Hope to get that pass done. Getting quite warm in this commentary position, I must say. This afternoon sun starting to set, and it's like beaming right into our commentary post here. Okay, Thomas has probably closed that gap up a little bit there. All right, we've got some parents running here. I'm not sure what's happened here. Looks like, I don't know if you've got that on your eyes on that, Boyd, but it looks like one of our riders down, gone off into the gully there. So, yeah, there goes the committee.
Hey, he looks all right. He's trying to get his bike up.
Could be a bit winded by the looks of.
Yeah, he's on his bike. He's good. He's good.
Not really that marshal. The marshal before down here needs to be waving the flag, but he's
off and racing again.
No, we got one right down here in the gullies.
Oh, there's one down here.
Yeah, we got I think he's. Oh, the bike's actually upside down.
Well, let's hope he's okay. And we'll stay with the action.
Oh, poor little fella. He's got the wobbles on.
He's up. He's walking anyway.
Burgess is going to have to back the pace off as he comes through the waved yellow here. We've got all of the marshals on the track here. This bike was upside down moments ago. Zeisel goes past in 3rd place here. Okay, so they're all rolled out of it. They're not jumping the jump, which is good sportsmanship. That bike looks a bit busted there, Boyd. It's all a bit bent at the front there.
Yeah, it's just in the shadow of the camera, but...
Yep. One of the junior girls going past us here. All the kids doing what they should. Just rolling, not jumping. Okay, meanwhile, Thomas really close on the back of Burgess now. As our sort of attention gets taken away for a moment from our leaders. Yeah, these 2 boys out in front have been jockeying all day. Thomas has been sitting in the roost of Burgess for a couple of laps now. Let's hope this bike's all right there. Got a bit of a ding in the pipe. Meanwhile, our leader's at the top of the track.
Oh, the young fella's getting back on his bike, which is good.
Well, it is good, you know, because
there he is. He's off. Here he goes.
Finish the race, he doesn't get any points. He'll still get points for finishing, you know, last or whatever. So it's good, and you know, it is a 5-round series. Don't forget. So you got to be there at the end of the season. Thomas maybe dropped off Burgess ever so slightly there. A bit going on down here. Meanwhile, Burgess out in front. He's just extended his gap a little bit with Thomas. 3rd place. Zeisel. Oh, I'm not sure where he is now either. There he is. Really stomps it down with his legs. Okay, Burgess coming into some lappers now. In fact, it was our fallen rider before, but he needs to complete the race, which is good. I'm not sure where our medics and everybody's off to here. Something going on track. But meanwhile, Burgess heading up to the horseshoe for the last time. Thomas is putting the last little bit of a charge on. I don't think there'll be enough corners left for him. All in all, Burgess looks over his shoulder. I think he's got this one. Over the stable top. Into the bowl for the last time. Good ride by him. He turned the stables from the moto before. He was in second. Now he gets on the top step. Well done, Riley Burgess, Seth Thomas crossing for second. Third place is now going up the hill. That's Corey Eisel, 3-3 in third. So I think that nearly rounds us out there, Boyd. We've got the nippers.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Maybe everyone enjoyed the coverage again. We'll be putting this up onto the tube, and yeah, well, the kids, hopefully they can go watch themselves back and got a bit of coverage of them doing some jumps and stuff. And
yeah, I hope they can play it. And from my point of view and on behalf of the club, I'd like to thank you, Boyd, for coming out.
No, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and do this. It's been a ball, and hopefully I can get back for the next race.
Mate, I'd love to sit alongside you again and have the opportunity to do this with you. I think hopefully the viewers and the listeners have enjoyed what we've done, and I think we can definitely improve from this, mate.
Absolutely, Julian. Thank you. It definitely made a difference once you got on board with me as well, because you sort of knew a lot what you're talking about, and you could watch the race, and I could concentrate on the
joystick.
The joystick, and you know, I reckon we had another camera sort of where we are here, facing that way, you know, like down towards the cemetery, and happy days.
Yep. All right. Well, mate, once again, thanks for the opportunity to sit alongside you. Thanks to everybody that's dialed in. Don't forget to hit subscribe on the page, guys.
Thank you.
Happy Cam Sports, and thanks again.
Cheers.
Boyd, I've loved it, and yeah, mate.
No, thank you, Julian, and thank you, Lakes Motorcycle Club, for letting me come along and bring the action.
All right, thanks, guys. Cheers.